Okay. Now, number 6. Amendment to appropriation and bond authorization of $11,935 for various capital improvement projects to decrease the scope of the project and the appropriation and bond authorization to $7,120,000. Steve, I believe you want to...
Sure. I believe the last time we passed the bond authorization package was, Mary, on March 20th? Was that when we had everything?
March 20, yeah.
Correct, okay. That included $11,935,000 for various capital improvement projects. We have removed from that package the Rocky Ledge project. Because after you had actually approved the entire package, we had some good discussions with John Wilson and Kurt Carr, who pointed out some very important questions that at the end of the day, we and the folks on the WPCC could not answer. And we didn't feel that we could go forward in good conscience with that entire bond package on such a serious matter as Rocky Ledge and not have the answers to those questions, such as determining the equitable distribution of the project costs among the residents, receiving public water, and the remainder of the residents whom will be asked to support the project. The financial impact to all residents based upon the distribution plan, how homes would be connected and by whom during the project, and whether or not they would in fact actually be the development of an ordinance or a policy, how the homes would be connected after the project was completed, or people should come back to us later on, how would that be handled? How would wells be abandoned and by whom once the public water was supplied in that area? And discussions with the Connecticut Water Company on the maintenance plan and the financial support, which of course is still, their financial contribution from the Connecticut Water Company to the state is still in question because you just don't know how many homes will in fact be hooked up out of the 120 plus in the area that we want to supply public water to. So our decision was to pull the Rocky Water Ledge project out of the entire package. That reduces the overall package, taking that out to the numbers that you see in the revised authorization of $7,120,000. So that's a reflection of that entire removal of that one item. I want to remind everybody that the remaining items in the package, as presented tonight, they all need to be done for one reason or another, like the state or the federal requirements to replace the three bridges, the three big bridges, for the overall phased-in project completions, such as the roofs, or need to produce revenues like the boat ramp, or the dredging of the town docks, or a major safety or liability issue for the town, God forbid, such as the sidewalks from the old building to the new building. Frankly, we can't kick the can down the road anymore on these projects. We need to get done as quickly as possible. The longer we wait, the more expensive they will be in terms of labor, materials, delaying. Also can result in further deterioration of those things that we have to replace, and the costs will be even greater. Pete, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, only the 3 bridge projects, you either replace the bridges or DOT's gonna close them. I mean, it's not really an option. We managed to get 50% on one of the bridges, 80% on the other 2. The funding you're looking for tonight is the funding for the Pleasant Valley Road Bridge project. You have to fund it at 1.5 million it is, but that'll be offset by 50% grant of eligible spending. Now, eligible expenses, you have to be very careful with the project. We've already cleared things like using natural stone on the face to replicate the bridges that are there, widening the bridges to allow for bicycle and pedestrian traffic. So you have to clarify those all in the process of doing the project. So the state will reimburse us at 50% for those items at this point. So the goal is to make sure that the project's constructed in a manner where 95% of the project is eligible for the 50%. And then, it's like FEMA, we'll give you 75% of everything that's eligible, but, when you go through the whole process, you're basically, they're giving you 75% and declaring about 95% of what you're doing as being eligible. On this particular round, we're asking for an appropriation for the engineering costs for the 2 federal grant projects. Again, you will appropriate the entire amount, but we're allowed to submit the 80% reimbursement as the project moves forward. So the pool of money that would be necessary would not be too bad for those 2 things because, like I said, you can recover. We've also hired DTC to act as the town's representative to make sure that we keep within that eligible scope. DTC is actually designing the Pleasant Valley Road Bridge. If you recall, we hired DTC after going through an extensive RFP procedure and appointing them town engineering consultants.
Is that the Democratic Town Committee we were on?
Yeah, diversified technology consultant. DTC
Is that
is
put up to bid,
town engineering consulting services was put out to bid?
for this?
No, for the town. And then they're eligible because we follow the same procedure you're required to follow for federal and DOT for using them to do the work on the bridges.
So we don't have to put this up?
No. We have to put the engineering out for the federal program out, which we've done. We then have to negotiate a cost for them, but we can hire DTC to negotiate for us. We can hire DTC to watch the engineering. We can hire DTC to help get the project through so we don't screw up any of the grant money. And we'll get reimbursed 80% for DTC's work. So it's one of those deals where we'll be able to watch pretty closely what's going on to make sure we don't get ourselves into a jam where we don't get reimbursed the full 80% that the town deserves. So tonight you're being asked to really appropriate the total engineering costs for the 2 federal bridge projects. And again, those will be eligible for reimbursement. DTC will be hired, he'll be available for 80% reimbursement as well. But the pool money there is enough to keep that whole project working together and going forward. The fuel farm, you have no choice. Our permit, underground tank storage permit expires in 2019. We need to have something in the ground by 2018, at the end of 2018. You're replacing a 6,000-gallon underground storage tank at Public Works. In order to re-permit that tank, we have to do a significant amount of upgrade of the tank, the sniffer systems, the groundwater protection. And then you still have to, 5 years later, go through the whole process again. So what the plan is at Public Works is to put an above-ground storage tank system in like we have on the gasoline. You eliminate all the staff training. We all have to go to training every 2 years and become A, B, C, and D operators in order to keep the underground tank. You eliminate the tank test integrities that we have to do on an annual basis, the line integrity tests we have to do on an annual basis. You eliminate the tracking that we have to do in the office right now. Gallons in, gallons out, has to be within a certain percent. If not, we got to go through a whole procedure to find out why it isn't. And you eliminate all that by putting an above ground storage tank facility in.
Is it above ground storage facility? It sounds like not only their long-term cost savings, but it's cheaper because we're not
The
excavating.
only problem you have here is whether or not they make me take the underground storage tank out of the ground. I'm not-
Remediation.
If we can if we can keep it in place and just decommission it, that's one thing, take it out, is a whole other thing.
And who will oversee that?
The what?
That, normally in a residence, it's the fire marshal that
Fire
comes.
marshal's involved, but because we're a large dispensing, DEEP is also involved in that process.
Right, because it's a permanent thing to have an underground
Right.
tank
Yeah.
with the state. Now, that engineering and that work will also be done by DTC Engineering?
Because they're the town engineers.
Pete? Okay.
Just a question.
Okay.
We've already approved all that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So why don't we just make a motion for amendment, because I have no problem with information.
Okay, I
have no problem.
but some people may have information that's
Well,
quite different.
but you can give me
I'll stop.
you can give me information, we already approved it.
Yeah, but
So
some people might not have been here, but.
Well, but it's approved. What we're doing now
You have
is
to
making a
amend.
motion to reduce the amount received.
So do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to
Amend,
amend.
I still have some questions.
Fine,
we'll do that as
That's fine, he's gonna make the motion.
but right now,
So we can discuss it.
the business is this, is, you can ask questions about the other
yeah,
stuff.
we'll discuss it.
So I make a motion to amend the bond authorization from 11,935,000 to 7,120,000.
Okay, now a discussion. Now we get it.
Okay, now,
I'd like to know what has changed in terms of our actual town financial needs with regard to the Rocky Lake project.
The only thing that changed in going back and trying to address the questions that were raised, that
Those aren't financial questions. We need either $4.8 million or $6.8 million.
be 4.8 million.
Okay, so we need $4.8 million, regardless of the answer to the questions you want to answer.
They said some people made it very plain that they would not support the project because we didn't have the answers out there. So either we have the support of the people that are in a position to either support or not support, but if it's a matter of giving you or giving people out there some certain information to make them better understand, and the other thing is, to be honest with you, WPCC was not prepared to go in front of the public with the Rocky Ledge people and discuss this. So we're doing a presentation Wednesday night on all the other projects. We were not prepared to answer the questions on the Rocky Ledge water. It's coming back, it's not gonna be that long. But to me, if you're gonna present projects to the public, you better be able to answer the questions behind it. If you can't answer the questions, you shouldn't be presenting them.
if I might, we hope that it will come back so that it can be, we can go forward with it in November at the same time as the elections. I should give WPCC enough time to get all of the pieces done. Pete and I even wrote a letter from us to the WPCC, and we went and met with them, with town attorney, explaining to them the entire process, what needed to be done, and how, and the timing of all of it. So we think they understand, because they've got it in front of them now. Now they have to work out their schedule, and they have to stick to this schedule. Make this happen. Because we really don't want it to be delayed again.
But it will be delayed again. At least till November,
Correct.
and probably
Delayed once.
several months beyond that.
Well,
The big ones right now, that's all. This is
Our
what-
plan is,
We are looking at the Federal Reserve making 2 or 3 additional increases in the next year.
our plan is to be back before you in September.
Okay, but that's going to cost us another $140,000
I get it.
to do
I
the
get it, but
increase.
we may get a lot more money back by slowing down and working with the water company, so we get better answers from them.
You don't know that. You have no
We
answer
do
now.
know that they will contribute to the project, we just don't know how much.
If you're talking about issuing costs, remember, this is not a bonding project.
Yeah, it's
This
borrowed.
is, it's a low interest loan.
You're talking about DHS's $4.4 million, 2% loan? It has to be repaid. How do you plan to repay it?
I'm not saying pay, but when you mentioned $140,000 with issuance, that's.
Right, so we're not
We're
looking
not
to
going to
bond.
bond it. That's the only thing I was
You're
addressing.
going to go with the loan.
Correct.
So we're not gonna bond it at all. We're just gonna have to pay it back somehow.
Well, that's what we're trying to answer, how we pay it back.
And if I could add one more thing to this,
Same question you're asking.
we are now officially applying for a steep grant for $500,000 for the Rocky Ledge project. That opportunity came up from the last time we all got together.
And also $1 million from the Small Boat Improvement Projects Program for the bridging of the harbor.
We're planning, that's a different, that's
No, that's
Different.
a bonding.
Yeah, but that's gonna be part of what we're doing. We
Yes.
still have the treasury.
Still have
all those projects are on there, yes.
I'm wondering why we aren't more transparent about item D under the paragraph, now therefore be it resolved. Why not? Because on the Department of Public Works website and on the information, the appropriation request, it very clearly says Morgan sidewalk.
Yeah.
Here it says the construction and reconstruction of sidewalks.
I didn't.
I know what it is,
Oh, no.
I go to
had that
meetings,
question today.
but the public doesn't know.
I
And I don't
asked
think
that
that's,
question.
I don't think that's transparent.
And all I can say is,
Well, the public.
the attorneys are the professionals on this, and this is the way they wrote it up.
But I agree, that's a good question, owner asked, and Kirk asked the same question. But the bonding attorney drew this up, and we didn't catch it at the time, correct?
Yeah, but what you're seeing in the public eye is the Morgan sidewalk project.
But the problem
It's
is,
not like we're advertising it as reconstruction.
if we try to amend this now,
You gotta go back to, we're voting on that resolution.
yeah, it's gotta go back to the,
Correct.
we would kill our timeline.
Yep.
Kill the time.
Kill the timeline.
You gotta go by what the resolution says, not by what.
I can't support this language. I can support every penny, all of it, but I can't support this language. I'm sorry. It's not transparent.
So then they blow all the deadlines.
You know what? I'm elected by the taxpayers to do the right thing. This is what my heart and my mind tells me to do.
But can you say next Wednesday when we have the public hearing that this money is designated?
This
for-
one.
This Wednesday.
Oh, this Wednesday?
Yeah.
This Wednesday. Everything we're putting out says that we're building the Morgan sidewalk.
Right. but
There's
you-
nothing in anything that we're presenting that says that that money's for sidewalk reconstruction and
So
continuation.
Shannon, we can follow it up though, correct?
Nothing in my presentation.
When the bills are paid, we can follow this up.
I'm not trying to hide
It
it.
will be listed as Morgan sidewalk and anything in my system.
Anything that's on the webpage, it says Morgan sidewalk.
Then it should say that here.
Well, I can see if we said on the website that we're reconstructing sidewalks and didn't say Morgan sidewalk, that we'd be trying to slip something through, but that's not what we did.
I was at the meetings when it was clearly stated that this was a controversial project and we may be better off wording it carefully.
Well, we haven't changed the wording on it. I don't even know what the referendum said.
When did we have that conversation?
We didn't, for a selectman.
That conversation never took place in my presence. I
Perhaps.
said it was a controversial project. We never talked about changing the wording on it. Correct. At all.
That would be,
I have just one other question. The Board of Finance is just voting on the amendment, and we're voting on the dollar amount. We're not voting on the way it's presented at the referendum. Am I correct, Bruce?
Or on resolution.
You're voting on the resolution. The resolution includes the language and the amount.
That's okay. So is there any more discussion on this?
I don't know why the Rocky Ledge project was ever brought to the bond committee, brought before the Board of Selectmen, brought before the Board of Finance, if there were so many unanswered questions to begin with. It's just amazing to me.
I'll give you the answer.
Shoot.
There was work that was supposed to be done in parallel with what I was doing to put the budget together on the project. WPCC was supposed to be doing work in parallel. It was my understanding they were doing that work. It wasn't until after we got into it that we discovered that they weren't doing that. That they had stagnated on several points And it wasn't until Bruce and I went and actually sat down and met with them to go over everything that we figured out that they were not prepared to present anywhere, let alone in a public meeting. They hadn't even presented.
How much
the
time had elapsed between the bond committee and the board of selectmen and the board of finance when this became obvious that WPCC had no answers for anybody?
It became obvious really when we went forward with the bonding.
But it wasn't bonded.
It was an approval at the last,
It was approved.
that's why we're amending it. We approved it, I voted against it,
Yeah.
it passed. Raised a bunch of questions, and both,
Kurt raised a bunch of questions, we went back and
And that was
asked.
March
and you guys went back.
But you want me to read WPCC's report from the annual report, what it says about Rocky Lake and how it's done?
I'm just telling you, it's not done. I'm just
Well,
telling you.
that's it, it's done.
Well, okay. I'm telling you it's not.
We haven't been able to get answers from them, period.
You know,
When they came
That's
to,
why I said we brought an attorney with us and we went there.
But why do you think November is a good date?
I don't
I mean-
think any date's a good date, to be honest with you.
until we get the answers,
Huh?
until you get answers.
I mean, November's a good date because it's a general election, you're gonna have a
Why
lot.
don't we just hold the damn Rocky Lake project till we have all these goddamn questions
We're
answered?
supposed to have an answer by then. That's what I'm telling you.
How long is the 4.4 million
It's
available
good, we've got a letter of commitment.
for a period of time?
No, you have to recommit and ask them to hold it and stay, right? They understand what's going on. We've talked to Raoul up at DP, I mean, everything, it's like the federal grant. What happens if you guys, or if the town votes down this appropriation? When we vote for it at the budget time, what do you think's gonna happen? I have to go talk to the federal people, I have to go talk to the state people, I have to go talk to DEEP, I have to go see if I can get letters of extension and everything. I mean, the world, things like this happen all the time. Listen, I sat in a meeting with Bruce is right there, and I said, listen, you guys are great, but you know, your governor didn't do us any good by throwing all that garbage out in the public, so everybody's nervous. So I'm telling you, in my opinion, WPCC isn't ready.
That is my opinion.
And they will be embarrassed, and Bruce is of the same opinion.
Yes.
Why put that out there with information that isn't accurate or is incorrect? My job is to come up with a budget, I've done that for the project.
Right, 4.8 million.
Yeah, but why put all this information out as to how it's gonna be from a policy standpoint? How people are gonna be hooked up, who's gonna pay for, why do that? When you sit in front of a group of people and they ask you a question, well, how's this gonna be apportioned? Somebody says, oh, no. Why would you vote for it in that situation? I wouldn't.
Look, if we did not need the $4.8 million to be bonded, because we were gonna go with $4.4 million from DHS,
Yeah.
why was it in the package to begin
It's not a
with?
bonding package, it's an appropriation package.
Unappropriate or the
Well, you
appropriation,
still have to, the town has to approve the expenditure of that type of money.
don't they have to approve the 4.4?
Yeah, they do, that's why it was in the appropriation package.
Well, this says bond, appropriation bond authorization.
Right.
I mean, I think it was not very clear. But I'm not sure why we're arguing about it. I'm not,
I'm not either.
I mean, the thing is, I think you made great progress in moving the date. I think you made great progress in taking the 4.8 out. I'm still disappointed that we don't have numbers for each of the components. I'm really sorry that each of the components,
We do have numbers for
it's
everything.
not in the resolution. Resolution doesn't,
Oh,
the resolution doesn't tell you how much you're spending in each. No, 5 years.
This,
And nor, I know that does, but the thing is if it's not in the resolution, they can do anything they want to, and they know they can do
But
it.
I said to you, Kurt, and I'm willing, and I think Bruce is the board of selectmen is willing to put it into a policy if you want, or in writing, that ultimately these projects come down to me in terms of budgeting and making sure they're done correctly. And I'm telling you that what you see on that paper is what the budgets are gonna be set at for those projects. Now, you have to factor in a couple of things here. One is that we're working with numbers that could be up to 18 months away from now, number one. And I started working on some of these numbers over a year ago. Number two, I can't look into the ground at these bridge sites, nor can my engineers, nor can the federal government, nor can the state government, to see what's underground. So those numbers may increase or they may decrease. It's like the marina dredging. I budgeted $53 a cubic yard. because they couldn't tell us where we were gonna dump. And depending on where you dump governs the cost of what you pay per cubic yard. Now they told us we're dumping in New Haven Harbor, and we gotta do a few more tests. That's gonna bring that cost down. But if I say it's gonna be 750 and we do it for 650, all the better.
Great.
We're not gonna borrow the extra money and do something else with it.
Right, all I was looking for is a not to exceed for each of the five components. And I prefer for voters to be able to say yes to one and no to the others. I mean, we did that with the turf field. And, you know, people said no. And they came back in May of the next year and they said yes to the 4.2. It said bridges, there were no bridges, never planned for bridges, but they thought there were bridges in there.
Well, like I said, I'm willing to set a figure for each one of these projects that you have in front of you and not move anything or change anything without coming before the Board of Selectmen and coming before the Board of Finance.
We will go through, Kurt, as I
It's
said.
a process.
I said on March 20th, and I meant it, we will go through a formal line item process. If we have to, come to the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance and seek approval.
What are the terms of the 4.4 million loan besides 2%? What is the payback period?
I haven't seen anything on that. We can pay that for your
3 years, 5 years? Is it a note or is it?
I haven't seen it yet. We filled out the application.
We'll get all the information.
I'll get you all the information, but I have not seen what the terms.
We gotta go through an extensive amount of paperwork to get approved. So that's been.
I thought it had been approved.
It is approved. I said we had to go through an extensive amount of paperwork.
Okay, so it's been approved, but we don't know
We got
what
the
the
final
terms of it
approval
are.
letters, and we just got Bruce had to send a letter to inform the Department of Health Services that we're gonna be delayed. They weren't happy about it, but they've accepted the fact that we're gonna be delayed. Some misinformation went up. God knows where it came from, but, you know, they said somebody told me we were gonna be delayed until 2018. So at that point, we got into trouble, but we did clarify it with the Department of Health Services. So they know that we're going for the referendum in November. And then you'll have that, because you're appropriating, you'll have, if you don't think the loan's appropriate, you gotta do it a different way. You have the option to do that.
Right?
Okay, if there's no more discussion, we'll vote on the amendment to appropriation and bond authorization. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay, and it's because of the language I stated earlier, but
So
the,
it passes 4-2.
who's the other nay?
Doug.
Doug,
Oh,
Oh,
Doug.
Doug, no.